And we'll just see. We're just waiting for Insight Timer. Every week there's a different little problem, but you know, we'll figure it out one of these days. It's all a bit smoke and mirrors, bits of tape and string, and yeah, but here we are. Phew. I didn't think I'd kind of put the link in properly and then pressed end. Anyway, hopefully this is coming through on the Authentic Living website. God, I can't even remember where I live. And on YouTube, although it's private. So, or if it's not, hello there, welcome. Okay, Insight will be in just a minute, and yeah, hoping one day for an elegant solution. I haven't found it yet, but I hope you're really, really well. So just begin settling, and Insight will be in 22 seconds, and then we'll just take it from there. Is that looking okay? Slightly crooked? I'm doing the best I can. There we go. That'll do. That'll do. We'll leave that bit of curtain in. Fine. Beautiful. Okay, loves. I'm just going to let Insight in. Sorry about the scrappy beginning. Until we get this, you know, another rig. I need another tripod or something, a different way of doing. Hey there. Hey, Robbie. Lovely to see you. Just let me switch into wired. I hope this works. There. Insight's behaving slightly oddly already, in that every time somebody posts, the screen's jumping up. Yeah, there we go. So come on in, lovely people, and you're more than welcome. Just checking my network preferences. Says we're okay. All right, I'm just checking everything's all right, because there you go, it says excellent now. So yeah, so if you find Insight is misbehaving slightly on the app or on the web, there's something kind of every week. Hey Sue, lovely to see you, fantastic. Hey Drew, hey Carol, hey Kay, lovely to see you. Mary, fabulous. Yeah, I'll let them know there's strange things going on. Kate in Minnesota, hello there. Oh, hey Ace in Colorado, Ellen. Am I still there? Yep, okay. It's, hey Calcutta, fantastic. How wonderful is that? Mahamuda, Madhumita, sorry. Hello, welcome. Awesome to see you. So we'll just give it a minute for people to come in. I always want more people from India in here, since I live in India so much of the time. Glitchy, you're telling me. Robbie says glitchy. Insight is being tricky. I'm hardwired. It's reading as excellent. You know, it's a pro internet connection. I just don't know, quite honestly. We will just go with it anyway. And I'll let the powers that be know later on. For some reason, it's kind of rolling up the screen on me as well. So, how is everybody? Maybe we can just have a little checking in, see how you're doing. Hey, Ellen, you've finished the Authenticity course. How wonderful of you. Thank you so much. That's really kind of you, and I hope that it really was helpful to you. It's great. We're heading towards 20,000 people now, having done the Authenticity course. I think there's 450 to go. I'm hoping that one morning I suddenly open it up and and there's 20,000, because it feels like a real landmark. That, and hopefully by the time the book comes out, that 20,000 has been hit. I think that's just like a lovely kind of a combination. Hey Bryn, hey Monica, hey Phyllis. Any of you joining on the website, on my own website, it's much steadier, much happier state of affairs through the Sangha Live page on my own website. So there we go. So I've been kind of streaming these on my phone to my website simultaneously. So because Insight doesn't have a playback system for those who miss these sessions and want to kind of have a look during the week or at another time or replay something. So if all goes well and it uploads okay properly at the end, it will be on Sangha Live on my website. So you have to join the free membership thing, and then you find a page called Sangha Live in the free membership area, and it'll just be there. And I'm thinking, although I'll ask a few people first whether they think it's a good idea, whether I should combine the open space pages and the Sangha Live pages together. Kind of makes sense that they sit on the same page. Okay, let's get rocking and rolling. I have no clue how many people are here, but you're here, and that's all that matters to me. And I've given today the title, A Quiet Knowing. And I was kind of reflecting on a kind of teaching yesterday from the 14th century, from an amazing woman called Lala. She was quite incredible, so she's considered an enlightened saint from the 14th century, Kashmir, India. And she used to walk around completely naked, and was very, very challenging. And yet she was an absolute kind of, devotee of the truth. The only person I can compare her to really is Anandamayi, who again, Indian, but from the last century, and is kind of, these two women are just kind of absolutely two of my favorite people ever. So if you're interested in checking out kind of like wonderful female sages, check out the teachings of Anandamayi and check out the teachings of Lala, or Lal Ded, Lal space Ded, or Lala, Lalla. And I haven't got the poem to hand, but Lala was talking about kind of the silent sound that we hear, that is the thing that kind of unites all things. Of course, she's talking about the Om. And the kind of inner state that kind of comes from that. And then I was just thinking that if we allow ourselves to listen into that space, and that's what we're going to do in our meditation today, then we can kind of receive the wisdom from that kind of quiet place of knowing, rather than kind of looking outside of ourselves. It's lovely to gather together, and it's lovely to have a teacher, and it's lovely, to do all the different things that we do. But that sense of knowing where we are, of where we're going, really has to come from that place that is the truth of ourselves. I won't even say that it's inside us, because it's not inside us. It is actually just part of us. And it's not separate from us. We don't need to connect to it. It's not removed from us. It's just here. It's just that we're so overlaid so often with our conditioning, our projections, our duality, our commitment to reactivity, which the world wants more and more and more of that from us. So we actually miss out on who we actually are and each other. We're committed to our belief systems and politicizing them and all sorts of things, and we miss life completely most of the time, most people, even when we think we're spiritual, and even when we have religions and all sorts, we can be missing out on this very powerful, quiet truth that is beating our own hearts. So that's what we're going to do. Nothing small in the meditation at all. But I actually did find a poem. I was going to just randomly pick a poem from here, and I just wanted to read you this tiny poem by Fernando Pessoa from 1933. And then we'll choose something from the Tao Te Ching before going into our practice. To be great, to be whole, don't exaggerate or leave out any part of you. Be complete in each thing. Put all you are into the least of your acts. So too in each lake with its lofty life, the whole moon shines. And that just seemed absolutely perfect as a kind of response to kind of what I've been thinking about, because the whole is in the lake of yourself, as it were, you know. Anyway, I've got some copies of the Tao Te Ching next to me. If someone could pick a number between 1 and, is it 81 or 87? I can never remember how many there are. Let me just look before you shout out a number. 81. Judy says 83, so there we go. That's what we'll have today. And I promise you today, those of you who were with me last week, no, 83, no, there is no 83. 81 is the final one, Judy. 83 is the final one. Have another go, Judy. Have another go. We'll let Judy pick. Go on, because she was in there. Judy? 66. There we go. 66. So this is the Stephen Mitchell. For those of you joining me for the first time, if it's any of you joining me for the first time, super welcome. And anything can happen in these sessions, and usually does. So we've slipped into a kind of lovely loose format of kind of randomly picking things, meditating on the kind of silence within, and then talking about stuff fairly randomly, actually, because it works. It just works for some reason, and it's a very particular, strange little set of people who seem to turn up in this space, and I'm very pleased for each and every one of you, quite honestly. Okay, number 66 from the Tao Te Ching, and then we'll compare it with the Fu Feng translation as well. Let's just have a look, but no literary criticism today, I promise you. All streams flow to the sea because it is lower than they are. Humility gives it its power. If you want to govern the people, you must place yourself below them. If you want to lead the people, you must learn how to follow them. The master is above the people, so no one feels oppressed. She goes ahead of the people, and no one feels manipulated. The whole world is grateful to her because she competes with no one. No one can compete with her. Because she competes with no one can compete with her. And if the Tao Te Ching is new to you, I should just point out, because it said the word master and then she. In Chinese, they don't do gender in the same as Western language. So you can be referred to as a he 1 minute and a she the next moment. And language doesn't have a kind of masculine and feminine sort of aspect to it, which is why this happens. So the next one, it can say master and it'll say he. So let's see what Fu Feng says. 66. So this is my other favorite version. There are many Tao Te Chings. And as I was telling you last week, for those of you who are interested, there's even, if you have a bit of a search around, there's a kind of like an unpoeticized version that was done in about 1800 that is just literally the raw language. So you see it stripped of all poetics. Yeah, here we go. Why is the sea king of 100 streams? Because it lies below them. Therefore it is the king of 100 streams. If the sage would guide the people, he must serve with humility. If he would lead them, he must follow behind. In this way, when the sage rules, the people will not feel oppressed. When he stands before them, they will not be harmed. The whole world will support him and not tire of him. Because he does not compete, he does not meet competition. So for me, today, it's the Fu Feng. I think this is much better than the Mitchell today. Let's have it again. Why is the sea king of 100 streams? Because it lies below them. Therefore it is the king of 100 streams. If the sage would guide the people, he must serve with humility. If he would lead them, he must follow behind. In this way, when the sage rules, the people will not feel oppressed. When he stands before them, they will not be harmed. The whole world will support him and will not tire of him. Because he does not compete, he does not meet competition. There we go. Okay. So, I'll type who this is by. Gia Fu Feng. Yeah. Wonderful, eh? So maybe after, if we've got time, we can have another Tao Te Ching. So I love the Mitchell, I really do, but it's always worth kind of, having another one around. And when I did my research, because it did cross my mind to do one, I'll have a look at it myself at some point. And I asked, what is the other best version? And I asked around. It was the Fu Feng that came up. Cool. All right, let's meditate for 20 minutes or so. And then we'll see what happens next. So I just want to invite you to allow yourself to settle. And we're going to stick with our sort of quiet knowing, which fits very well actually with what we've just heard from the Tao Te Ching. If our leaders, politically and religiously and so on, were to kind of listen into the quiet knowing instead of setting themselves above us, the people, how might that look? If you were to allow yourself that quiet knowing, how might that look? So just beginning to settle for your practice, allowing yourself a nice uprightness. And I just want to invite you to become aware of the physical feeling of your body. So maybe you just feel your clothes against your skin, you feel yourself sitting on the cushion. Noticing how you are physically, mentally, emotionally. And I'd like to invite you to not attempt to change anything. But just allow yourself to be aware of how you are in those three aspects of your expression: mind, emotion, and body. Notice too if you are commenting in your mind about your state, how you think you should be. And rather than move into reaction, trying to change something, allow yourself to be aware that by noticing, you are aware. Oops, taking my microphone with me. So the awareness of even being out of sorts, if you're out of sorts, is awareness. And that's all that we need. So can we just allow a sense of ease to begin gradually moving into our physical expression? Perhaps noting the breath or listening to the sounds that you can hear. And noting the spaces between the breath and the breath equally. Noting the spaces between the sounds equally. So you have sound and space, or sound and silences between them and beneath them. You listen equally to the silence and the sound. You feel equally into the breath and the spaces between the breaths. Meanwhile, you feel your physical body, feel the feeling of life in your body. And just allow this to gradually settle in. Feeling of life in the body. Space between the sounds. Space between the breaths. Not trying to force the mind to meditate, force the emotions to change. Because the mind doesn't meditate. I don't know if you know that. The mind has nothing to do with meditation whatsoever. But the mind loves it when you meditate, because it gets a rest. So. Noticing too, anything in you that is not expressed. Not trying to dig it out with a shovel or a spoon, but just noticing if there's any kind of pressure of unconsciousness, unexpressed feelings, thoughts that are stuck on, or thoughts that are kind of invisible to you but acting. And if there is anything of that kind, notice there's a surface aspect which is kind of causing you volition, projection, movement. And instead of resisting, just allow your awareness to be aware of that. And see if you can feel down into your life. Not memory, but the feeling of life. And see if you can, without worrying about whether you can name it or not, if there's a root, a deeper root to anything unconscious or unexpressed. No need to figure out the names of things. No need to change them. Awareness is always the key. And loving awareness at that, not hard thought. So loving awareness to everything received, to the spaces, to the things that you're aware of and conscious of, to the things that you're not aware of, to the things expressed and unexpressed. And so a question for you that seeks no answer. Who is experiencing all this? Who is the knower? Is it the mind? Is it your feelings? Is it the body? Is it your skills in the things that you do? Is it your schooling? Is it all the things that you've learnt to be? Who is the knower? And we do not look for an answer, because you are the knower, looking, aware of all of this. Even if things are a total car wreck, rather than judging it, we just know. We see from this place within. So letting go of any kind of false meditation face that you might be trying to wear, dropping any spirituality or thought of spirituality. It doesn't need courage, it doesn't need letting go. Only ego tries to let go, because it creates a me that has to let something go. Whereas the knower, you, I'm talking to you, at heart depth, at soul depth, you know. No need to even get rid of the ego. No letting go of ego. Life in the body, space between the sounds, feeling of your physical self, space of the room around you, clarifying and more present, moving out of embattlement with the self, and deepening into the awareness that already is who you are. And recognizing that quiet place of knowing that is wholly who you are. It's not some fake shanty walking around in a certain way kind of thing. It's the wholeness of yourself. No need to act peaceful, you are peaceful. Even if you're in the middle of a storm in your life, the storm takes place within this peace. So I would like to invite you to ask something of yourself as the knower from the quiet place of knowing. And you may even say it to yourself. I would like you to ask with as little mind as possible and as little projection or predictiveness as possible. I would like you to ask your knower what it is you should be turning towards at this time. What you should be gently working on in your life. Now watch out for the mind taking over. It's the kind of thing the mind's going to swoop down on this like an eagle onto a little mouse or a rabbit and try and tell you what's what. So observe the eagle and the rabbit and let them pass. And let the knower tell you, show you in its own way what do I need to attend to this month? It could be that the answer is that you need to up your game with your meditation, sitting a couple of times a day. It could be that you need to be in nature a bit more. It could be you need to listen to the people around you. Could be you need to listen to the knower. Even if you've joined us late, hey Charlotte, hey Roxanne, just come on in, sit down, allow your soul to simply be here with us. Allow your body to relax around your soul. So perhaps you feel that clarity, that sense of dignity and sovereign aspect of being. Maybe you feel the quiet power maybe you feel nothing at all. It's all just fine. No expectation upon you. I know I tend to set the bar extremely inward in these sessions. because there's nothing to achieve here. Allowing the knowing within to show us our focus of the next 1 month. Not the mind, not the ego of the mind, but the sky of the heart. Eagle can only fly because of the sky. We can only live because we have soul, because we are soul. The effortless effort. And so you've probably noticed that by sitting in this way, life in the body, spaces between things, allowing that clarity to simply reveal itself to you, being aware of even the difficult things is awareness. It doesn't mean that the difficult things just vanish, but now we can turn to them with proper attention, with love and openness rather than reactivity. You may notice that we transcend much of our difficulty when we practice in this way. Whereas for a long time in our lives, and we've all done it, we try to force our way through everything. We try to break our way through. We try to practice hard enough. We try to be good enough, loving enough, fixed enough, right enough, based on some model from somewhere. But when we realize, even in the smallest degree, an inch more of our own soul, then transcendence begins. Congruence begins, alignment with what our life really is. You become the person that you are and that life wants you to be. I was going to say the G word, because I use the G word, but I don't mean it in a religious sense. Or maybe the religion of religion. So we begin the path of transcendence rather than wish fulfillment, rather than wishing and hoping, rather than battering, warring. And you see, because we are humble, because this is humble, you can feel it. Because we are humble, there's very less opposition in ourselves. We're not having to threaten the ego and beat things up and force our way through and let go and force anything. Instead, it's the hand of love that moves. that acts. And so things line up a lot better. So we'll begin drawing this practice gently to its close. Not that there's ever an end to a practice like this, we just finish the formal aspect of it. Perhaps you can even just listen to the space between this bell for a moment and just feel into that space, and that will bring the end. And let's just finalize the practice just by, if you feel like, just placing the hands together in Anjali Mudra. And from that space within ourselves, without any forcing of the mind or heart, we allow this practice to be for the benefit of ourselves and for all beings, not just those we love and those we like, but for all beings. May all realize the wholeness of their nature. Bless you. How are you? You okay? So I noticed some donations going up the page, so just let me say thank you for those. Bless you, Carol. Tears this morning. Thank you, Jenny, for being so kind. Thank you, Charlotte. Let me give you your homework. Hey, Maggie. Hey, Robbie. So your journaling is to write about what you were shown within yourself in this practice, in terms of the knower and the knowing and the action of the next month, where the knower says you should be placing some of your volitional energy. And then I'd like you to use your journal a couple of times a week over the next month to reflect. So you're going to set yourself a little path from within. You're going to allow your path to be directed to you from the knower within. And then use your journal, maybe, 10 minutes time writing a couple of times a week. And don't reflect on failure, but reflect on baby steps, the heart, the movement forward, what needs attending to, what is working beautifully, and so on. But don't polarize it into duality, but allow it to be just a tracking of your forward motion. And when I say forward motion, let the inner be the guide and the judge, if that's the right word, of motion, not your mind. Let the heart guide the way. The heart of the heart. Does that make sense? I think it does. You know, I don't ask small things of you because you're not small. If you were small, I'd ask small things of you. Be mindful, I would say. Or, you know, I don't know. I never see people as small. Just situations that we believe in as being limiting. So, yeah. Okay, my loves. Oh, thank you for all these gorgeous donations. It's absolutely marvelous of you. You know, I mean, these are completely free-form sessions. I write something down for a title and then let God kind of make everything shape around it, you know. That's it. We're done. Unless there's anything you want to ask me, really. Have I got anything to tell you, share with you? Well, I was going to make a YouTube video today, but too many things today. So I'll be doing that in the morning, and then there'll be a newsletter in the next day or two going out. So if you're on the mailing list, then look out for that. Yeah, it's all just media stuff at the minute, really, just letting you know how the book's. We're not quite there with the book yet. We're 6 weeks away, but all these things are starting to happen around the book. Interest from the press and so on. So it's just a kind of a rounding up of those things. And the audiobook's ready. That will come out on the same day as well. And I was going to talk in the YouTube video about why it's not my voice on the audiobook, because I know some of you will be like, no, why is it not him on the audiobook? I may as well tell you now, since I've started doing that. Well, I'm going to say in the YouTube video anyway. And I only realised yesterday why I said no to recording the audiobook. I didn't say no to it. I said yes to the person suggested to record the audiobook. So the person whose voice is on the audiobook is a guy called John Chancer. And he's read many audiobooks. He's a fabulous actor, actually. You've seen him in movies. If you saw the film Casino Royale, the James Bond movie, he's the policeman in that, but he's in lots of other things as well. But I was really not able to do the recording, if I'm honest, because, as some of you know, my oldest friend, my brother, Chris, took his life in June, 15th of June, and I've really not been able to do very much, if I'm honest. I turn up and do my lives, and I've been doing kind of what's in my diary and what my publicist asks me to do. But I wasn't able to do it. I would not have served you well through that audiobook. And it was only yesterday that I felt the clouds lift for the first time since the 15th of June, or since Chris's sister rang me, because I was on solo retreat in the wilds of Scotland in a tent doing a solo meditation retreat, and but I was still taking a few calls, you know, from close people, and I got a call telling me that Chris had left, and I just haven't been able. I just haven't, you know. So please understand, and what I've said to Watkins, my publisher, is if the book does well, we'll have a 5th or a 10th anniversary revamp of the book, like you do. And I promise you, I will record the book then. I made myself cry. Sorry about this. And my heart has just started moving again after sort of 4 months of being closed. Not closed, but in grief. And yesterday it moved. I felt it go. I felt it change. And now I'm capable of things. It's quite interesting. In 24 hours, I'm now suddenly capable of things again. What was I going to say to you? So forgive me for not recording the audiobook. And what I was going to say in the YouTube video is you lot, because I'm going to get loads of people saying, why is it not John on the audiobook? So if you see a review of it somewhere and it says, why is John not on the audiobook? Can you tell them so I don't have to kind of keep repeating it? Not in great depth, but, you know, just kind of, can you just back me up a little bit? Oh, Charlotte, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that you're in mourning today and your journey began last night. I really understand. You can see, you know, that we just try to do everything here as lovingly and as honorably as possible, including sort of telling you the real reasons behind things, you know. I'm never here to kind of capitalize on anybody or create something. Sorry, can't stop crying now. And I've got my glasses on so you can't quite tell. But yeah, we're just here to be human beings. We're not going after human. We're not pretending that we're not human. We are just, human beings. It's just that we are souls, as well. So we're sending you lots of love, Charlotte. I really understand. We really understand. And bless you all. Bless you all for being here. So, but yeah, I just wanted to kind of clear that up because, the few people that have said I've not recorded the audiobook to get these, why not? We love your voice and all that. And I know about the voice thing. It's, a gift I was given to use in this world. We've all got our gifts and God sort of gave me whatever it is. I have no idea why people like this voice, but they do. What I was going to say to you is that I promise, because there are 3 or 4 meditations in the book, and there are kind of a few poems that Watkins asked for. So I will do a separate recording of those bits as an adjunct and kind of, make them available on the website or something like that. So you can always kind of tune into my readings of the poems and stuff as well, Somebody just lost a co-worker. Who was that? I can't see it now. Where's it gone? First time. Oh, Mui, thank you for saying that. That's beautiful of you. Thank you, Megan. We've all lost people. We all lose people. I can't see who it was. Somebody's lost a co-worker as well. Oh, Colleen. I'm so sorry, Colleen. So yeah, so we don't get out of here alive, in ego and physical form. But we are life and we are soul. And we can share that with each other. There's no shame in vulnerability. I hope you can see that. In fact, that's actually where our strength is. And sharing these things truthfully with each other is a far better way than covering ourselves over, We don't build a house out of pain and create a pain body from it, but we realize that grief has to be walked through step by step. That love is, and life is, and soul is. Life in the bigger sense of the word, because even death is contained within life, So, because it's not an ending. really. It's just the next thing. Okay, my loves, amazing to sit with you. Thank you, all of you who have been here. And yeah, I'll be back with you in a week, I guess. Yeah, indeed. All right, lots of love. Thank you so much for today. You got your homework. I'm sure amazing Drew, who is here with us, will somehow render that into sense, all of this, and post it in the circle for you. I know that Insight are about to combine groups and circles together, so I'm sure there will be lots of technical problems with that. You volunteered for the job, Drew. Drew's my other admin, my wonderful Robbie as well is a admin in the circle, but they're about to kind of combine it, so it's not going to be called circles anymore. It's going to be called groups version 2, and we'll see how that goes. So yeah, because otherwise we're duplicating stuff at the minute, so it is understandable, but we'll see how that ends up. Yeah, technical issues and Insight time. You got to love it, haven't you? Technical issues are the way to the soul, I think. All right, my loves. See you soon. Those of you who know where else to look, I'll see you tomorrow and Wednesday. I won't be with you in the other place on Thursday because I've got to go to London. And then back here. And I've posted about the open space on the website as well. So lots of stuff, all in the newsletter. See you soon. Lots of love, everybody. Take care. I'm going to press the end button now. Otherwise, I'm just going to wibble on for ages. Bye, loves. And thank you over here as well. Lots of love to you. I'm going to just press stop.